would like to speak about the topic, the falseness of the so-called Book of Truth. The so-called Book of Truth is surely not an authentic prophecy. It is not recognized by the Church and represents a huge deception, a trap into which many Catholics walked in their naivety. Many elements of the content of the Book of Truth, the manner of speaking, and the methods applied contradict the sound traditional Catholic teaching and the perennial sense and meaning of the Catholic Church. The following are the common negative criteria which the Church gives us in judging on presumed apparitions or prophecies. I quote, "There are manifest error concerning the facts. Second, doctrinal errors attributed to God Himself or to the Blessed Virgin Mary or to some saint in their manifestations, taking into account, however, the possibility that the subject might have added, even unconsciously, purely human elements or some error of the natural order to an authentic supernatural revelation. Then, third, evidence of a search for profit or gain strictly connected to the fact. The next, gravely immoral acts committed by the subject or his or her followers when the fact occurred or in connection with it. And the last, psychological disorder or psychopathic tendencies in the subject that with certainty influenced on the presumed supernatural fact, or psychosis, collective hysteria, or other things of this kind. These are only possible, the criteria. I am not saying that these all apply to the so-called Book of Truth, but these are the objective possible criteria to judge. Inquiries must be made about the alleged recipient of visions also. What virtues does the person have? What was his general level before and after the alleged revelation of this person? If a great advance in holiness is seen, and it seems to have come from the revelation, there is good probability for the revelations. We can think of the Fatima children, how they progressed in holiness. One must watch out for the work of Satan also. He may really promote good things for a while, provided that in the long run he gains. Some revelations and apparitions seem to have good fruits, yet were then later discovered as being evidently false. St. Margaret Mary was told by our Lord, I quote, "Listen, my daughter, and do not lightly believe and trust every spirit, for Satan is angry and will try to deceive you. So do nothing without the approval of those who guide you. Being thus under the authority of obedience, the efforts of Satan against you will be in vain, for he has no power over the obedient soul." Humility is a major key. Satan has the greatest horror of humility. Yet Satan can lead a person to a false humility. Pride shows in an independent spirit as to the church, to the superior, to the spiritual director, in obstinacy in opinions, in refusal to submit to examinations, even in anger. It shows too in desiring to publish the graces the person thinks he has received or she has received, when it is not necessary. Humility leads to wanting to hide them, except in cases of real usefulness. Is the information given by an alleged seer useful for salvation of souls? Question mark. If it is merely to satisfy curiosity, it is unlikely to be of divine origin. Some seeming seers act like mediums, give information on diseases, on political events, and so on. Some are very clever in observing and can work with little things. Also, suspect are revelations that merely give truisms, that means that merely give statements that are obviously true and say nothing new or interesting. Is all in the messages and alleged revelations in accord with the dignity and gravity of divine majesty? This is an important question. Some presumed revelations descend into vulgar speech. Satan at times appears taking repulsive shapes. Yet Satan at times also takes on the appearance of an angel of light and even of Christ himself. Signs of the Spirit of God are the followings. It fits with teaching of the Church. It is serious, gives light to the soul, docility, discretion, modesty, no hurriedness, no exaggerations, humble thoughts, confidence in God, rightness of intention, patience in suffering, self-denial, sincerity and simplicity in conduct, no attachments, not even to the gifts and the revelations, a great desire to imitate Christ in all things, gentleness, kindness, humility. These are the signs of the Spirit of God. The signs of the evil spirit are spirit of falseness or lie, suggestion of useless things, curious things, impertinent things, restlessness in the soul, a bold, obstinate spirit, many indiscretions, pride, lack of hope, vanity, self-satisfaction, impatience, hypocrisy, pretense, attachment on earthly things, a false charity including bitter zeal, indiscretion. So these are the objective criteria. I am not saying that this is the truth in the Book of Truth, all these items, but only I gave this as a criteria to judge so-called presumed revelations. Now concretely, the Book of Truth containing also some true affirmations, and because of this, the Book of Truth seduces good-minded and simple Catholics, causing thereby a still greater confusion among the good ones within the Church of our day. This is precisely the tactic and strategy of the devil, who is the one who confuses. We must be sober and follow the admonitions of the apostles. I quote second letter of Peter 2:1. False prophets also arose among the people, just as there will be false teachers among you. And then Titus 1:9. The apostle admonishes us that the faithful have always to speak and to follow the sound doctrine. Our Lord warns us in the Gospel, beware of false prophets, and many false prophets will arise and lead many astray. And Apostle John says us, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God, for many false prophets have gone out into the world. So St. John, the first letter of St. John. Catholics should follow only those apparitions which are approved by the Church. God gave us for our difficult and confused time all the necessary means. We have still the good old Catholic catechisms, the life of the saints, we have the Holy Eucharist, we have Our Lady. She is the destroyer of all heresies. We have the powerful spiritual weapon, which is the prayer of the Rosary. God gave for our time the special devotion to the Immaculate Heart through Our Lady of Fatima. The Church will be renewed not through questionable, sensationalistic, and loquacious, presumed prophecies like the Book of Truths, or through spiritual gurus and oracle speakers. But the Church will be renewed in our days of confusion through the sound, sane, solid, sober, and integral, traditional Catholic doctrine and spirituality, through the sacredness of the traditionally handed over liturgy, through penance, acts of reparation, and through the holiness of life. Dear brothers and sisters, beware of false prophets. Do not believe on the Book of Truth. Beware of false prophets. God bless you.